All right, well, happy May to you guys. Welcome to another 164 custom diecast NASCAR video. My name is Doug Mount, and I am going to show you what I've been working on this week and today in particular. Yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday. I think yesterday morning I did a video, and I don't know what happened to it. Something happened, corrupted, whatever, and was not posted. So, oh well, we will move on, because I was showing you guys how I did this side of this car. And so we're going to do the other side. This is a 2015 Ryan Blaney. Made this car a few times before. He was a rookie driver, and he did not qualify at this track, which was a Kentucky race. It was a crazy time. You know, they didn't have enough owner points as a relatively new team, and he didn't qualify because it got rained out. The car had a lot of speed, and I think a few cars qualified, and then the rains came, a storm came through in Kentucky, and Ryan, NASCAR had to call off the qualifying, and lo and behold, he did not make the race. So, if I recall, I think he was going to start like in the top 10 somewhere. So it was a bummer. It was a bummer of a day for the 21 team and Ryan himself. And so, of course, Snap-on, the sponsor, was not happy. But we can make the diecast and recollect what a car he could have had, and potentially could have had a race-winning car. So the challenge with this, okay, so you can see this needs some work here in the bottom corner over here by my thumb. But I had the black background removed, so it's a transition, right? And that transition is a little abrupt, but it is what it is, you know, when you're working with decals and not, you know, fading paint. But it's not too bad, right? I did paint the rims red. They didn't come that way, so I used some red, my red paint pen here, and used this little applicator to get the red in there and keep it off of the little center axle hub there. But the hard part on these cars, you know, it's pretty straightforward with the front, right, and the roof and everything. But I pre-paint this spoiler red because the spoiler decals are just, they don't match up very well. But you have to work this whole side piece as one decal, and you have to work this in, and it doesn't quite meet up right there with this back piece. There's a little bit of a gap there, right there. So what my plan is when you trim the decal right here in this area to go around the spoiler, there's a little bit of white that's left over, which is this piece way back here. And I'm going to cut that to size and splice that in to try to cover that area up. It's not going to look the best, but it's going to look a little bit better than it does right now. So I have to cut like a little triangle shape there. And it's all, you know, just to try to hide that little seam. You know, when you're doing decals, you got these seams and stuff. The other area is right along here where you're fitting this piece in, and it just wants to wrinkle right here. There's a little tiny wrinkle that's right there that I didn't get out. But I'm not too unhappy with that side. Then you have to trim this little snap-on trunk piece to go in place, and you can see I trimmed a little bit too much in this top end, and you can see a little bit of the black up there, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. When we lay this piece on here, we'll see if it lines up. It probably won't, but you know, it is what it is at this point. So what I'm going to do, let's get some of these pieces in the water. And I got these front pieces to put in. Like so. Get all this stuff over here. Of course, washed my hands and got fresh water this morning. Cleaned out my little bowl. So it is all ready to rock and roll. Come on. I'm going to flip this over. You don't want to put decals in the water upside down. Get this Ford logo in place. Now, let's size this up. But first, a couple things I like to do here. I just want to trim in. Sorry about the glare. Trim in there a little bit. Get rid of this little extra space here where there's no decal. Just a little bit, just a cut, just a little bit right there. So if I have to fold that in, I can. Just like so. And then I do the same thing on this side. Wow, that's really bright and shiny right down on there. So just cut just a little bit like that. And I trimmed a little bit here because it's rounded as opposed to pointed. So just trim just a tiny, tiny bit there. Try to get that rounded right there on that corner. Okay, now comes the fun part. Lining this thing up. Like I said, I usually like to try to line it up right there on that spot. Bring it back just a little bit here. See if I can get that to line up back there. Like so. I want to get that right there. And you can see I got to trim this white so it folds down. It doesn't run into that spoiler. And this looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I just need to cut that right there. And you can see the little, it's just, see that little area right there? Instead of being such a sharp jolt in, it should just gradually come up, but it cuts in, creates a little bit of a gap there. And I could paint it, but I don't like to do that. I don't have to. I'd rather use the white decals. Alright, let's see if I got enough here. Something tells me I don't. Again, trying to get it just right. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. It is angled a little bit. Maybe I'll angle it a little bit more. So cut it more at an angle. Like so. Yeah. Hopefully that works. We shall see. Okay. Now let's get this over here. Where did that come from? Okay. All right. So this is what I want to kind of cut as a little triangle. It's not going to be perfect. And it's so stinking small, it's hard hard to cut it with scissors when it's this tiny. And I'm sorry if you guys aren't able to see that, but I'm just kind of cutting little edges off of this little rectangle to try to make it more triangle shaped. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm just patching it in. Okay. And my plan is, it's not so much of a triangle there, but my plan is to piece this in right there. Okay, and then I have this piece that I just trimmed off, and I'm going to basically do the same thing. Little tiny pieces cut in here. Super tiny pieces. Come on. Okay. Put that in the water too. Okay. So let's clean up this mess here. Got little shards all over the place. Okay. So, what else I got? Finished up this Greg Biffle Gold Safety Clean. I'm real happy with this car. I've said this numerous times. I like the gold. I like that that gold color. And yeah, it's kind of cool to make something unique like this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think maybe one more coat of clear sealer, and that'll be that. Got a little black on the lower valence here, black roof lines, black spoiler. I touched up a little black around here because of that area there, just to make sure that no gold was showing through there. Make that little nice little look. That looks pretty good on the back. Yeah. So, Greg Biffle fans might find that interesting. See how the front end turned out. It's a little bit of a different body, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, so that's that. Worked this Ken Seth Memorial McDelivery car. This was a I decided to just use this McDelivery car that you can buy at Walmart as a NASCAR Authentics. It's not straight. You can see it's off kilter. It's frustrating, but you know, it's the way it is. And what I did was I painted red over the little NASCAR logo, NASCAR race car logo that goes on the sides there, and once I got that painted, put a coat of clear sealer, and then I put the NASCAR Salutes decal, PFC Bossfeld there along the windshield. Same thing on that side. You can see my red is not a perfect match to the red here. It's a little bit darker, but it's hardly noticeable. Got the name Ken Seth across here, and of course detailed the inside, the underneath, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these Support Our Troops tires on. So I'm going to drill out the JB Weld, which is a piece of cake. The drill just goes through it like a hot knife through butter. And I'm going to swap out these rims, regular rims, with the Support Our Troops rims. And that'll be that. So, hope you like that. I think it's, if I remember your name, I think it's Tyler. So Tyler, that car's almost done for you. Chris, I got your number 18 American Heritage chocolate card done. And this will be the Thank You Heroes car. I'll be working that possibly later today. Just a quick word about this. I've said this before, but whenever I paint a car white, I use the flat white. That's my go-to, because to me it just gives a better white pigment than the gloss white. Also, the gloss white, the spray cans tend to clog up faster. So I don't like using the gloss white. I use just a couple coats of the primer white, and it works well. So this is the car after 2 coats of the white primer. I got to do a 54 Hero Supra. But what I do before I decal it is I put a coat of clear sealer on it, which I put on this car here on the right. And you can see it's a little bit shinier, you know. And the reason being, again, said this before, is the decals will, the seams in the decals will not show up as easy on a gloss surfaced car. So I highly recommend, if you do like a satin finish or a flat finish, put a coat or 2 of clear sealer on it, get a little glossiness to the car before you put the decals on, and your car will look nicer and as the end product. Okay. I really appreciate Mark, and I think Joey, and there may have been 1 or 2 others that said, hey, a truck's a truck. And so what I have here on the left is a Ford, and on the right is a Chevy body. And I'll show you that, because that's the F-150. You can see it says Ford F-150 used under license underneath. And this one, Chevy Silverado, used under license. So those are the 2 trucks I have. I've painted them gloss black, and you can see the front end on these things are identical. I mean, they're, so I thoroughly am grateful to you guys for pointing that out. And yeah, everything else on the truck is the same. Ford, Chevy. And so I'm going to use these for the Raphael Lessard Canac number 4. And so, yeah, that's a Toyota Tundra. It's the Canac decals. Let me pick this up here. And that's that. So excited for that. Got a couple of those working. One for the request, and one for the eBay community. All right, so I got a couple McDonald's Kenseth cars here, regular McDonald's, and then the Ronald McDonald House Charities cars. I'm going to be working those. I think one of those is actually for me, and so I'm not sure which one's which. I think this one's going to be for me. I think I already have that one made for myself. So that's what's going on there. Over here, you can see I got a couple 54 Heroes to do. There's the decals here. And then that's the 18. And these are the 2 Christopher Bells. I just need to get some JB Weld on these and on these. Okay. So what the heck's going on here? So I was talking to Billy. You know, Billy had said, hey, you know, do me a Wonder slot car. So he sent me a couple bodies, 26 Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights car, and one of the Laughing Clown number 26 cars. So I said, hey, you know, before I've never done those before. Before I do your slot cars, I want to try them as die-cast bodies, because I have some bodies laying around, some older bodies laying around. So I went ahead and got this 1995. It was a number 5 Kellogg's car. If that will focus, you can see that. And I grabbed that, took it apart. It's pretty simple, you know, pretty basic. This is the plastic insides. And I primed it and painted it the Go Mango testers, because this is pretty good match to what the pictures I was looking at, and Billy sent me some pictures. And yeah, and the the decal set's not exactly like the pictures that you sent, Billy, so it's gonna be a little bit of a work of art to try to get it to the best that I can using the decals that I have. But what I have here is the orange painted car, and the next thing I need to do is there's a little bit of a, I shouldn't say a little bit, but there's purple that comes across here and across the front here. And that purple needs to match that laughing clown purple as best as I can. And I didn't have it, so this morning I went by Walmart and I picked this up, gloss grape, and it was the best that I could see to match what's in that laughing clown. It's not a perfect match, but it was the best purple match that they had. So I'll be using this to go on that orange die-cast body, and it'll be, you know, like I said, it's my first time painting it, so I'll do my best to try to get that to look as much as like the pictures that we have of the car that was in the movie. Now this Wonder car, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I thought it was all white, but it's not all white. This is a 2003, I think, Chevy body that I'm using. Most of it's white, but the top, the back here is all blue. And the blue that I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use, let's say, is this brilliant blue. I think that's a pretty good match to what the pictures that I've seen. However, the deep blue, where are you? There's a deep blue, seems to match a little bit better with the blue that's in the decal set. See that? So, Billy, if you could, go ahead and tell me which blue to use. One that better matches the dark blue, that's the flame there, and the little, you know, color there. Or should I use this, it's a little bit lighter, the brilliant blue, that as you can see it's a shade or two further away. Now what's going to be fun with this is you see these little red squigglies here? That's my divider between the white and the red. It goes along the side here. And that'll be fun because I'm going to need to paint it in such a way that these lines, these decals will be able to lay over top of there and distinguish the white from the blue. So Billy, I can see why you sent this to me, because this is going to be a pain in the butt. Alright, so I'm going to do my best, and we'll see. You know, we'll just strive for perfection, try to do our best, and hopefully it'll be acceptable. And I will tell you guys, Billy has said he wants first right of refusal for these die casts. So I'll grant that to you, Billy, and we'll try to make it work. I could see if they don't turn out well, you'd be like, yeah, you can sell this to somebody else. I'm not really interested in this. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to piece this in. Showed you guys before. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more. Whenever it shows something in the background, it wants to focus on that. Now, it doesn't look that great trying to piece something in. But I don't know. Kind of almost a lesser of two evils, right? Do you have the black showing through, Or do you put a little white piece in there to cover it up? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, let's get this on, and I will show you guys how fun this is if you haven't seen this before. So you get this in place here, get this there, get that folded over. Oops. And as I work this, you can see I didn't do that great of a job getting this lined up here. Let's see. Pull a little bit forward. Doesn't line up too bad. My cut job's not that great. You can see how much I got a little bit left over there. This is not looking that great either. Here on this corner, on the bottom here. Just like the other side, there's just too much decal in this little corner there. Work out these little bubbles and water spots. It doesn't look too bad there across there. Yeah, what I say in my last video, it's been a few days. I'm trying to remember what I said in the video yesterday that I can so I can repeat it, because like I said, something happened. It screwed up a little bit, but the appreciate you guys' patience on requesting cars. Probably going to be opening it up sometime in June, later June, to take a new request. I still have some requests to go. Got some decals to order from Mr. Pato here this coming week, and yeah, so busy times, but enjoying life. You know, I was talking to a brother, it was yesterday, how important it is to stay busy doing good things, because if you get lazy, you ended up unfortunately doing bad things. So hope you guys have a great day, busy, enjoy the hobby, and enjoy NASCAR.